Welcome to the Your Leadership Legacy podcast. My name is Tina Paulus Kraus, and I'm so excited to bring you this next podcast dedicated to you high performers out there who want to reinvent yourself, reinvent your business, maybe your career, all of it. This podcast is all about being dedicated to transformation and being the best possible leader of yourself and others that you can be in order to create a legacy that lives on. Welcome to Your Leadership Legacy. My name is Tina Paulus Kraus. I am the founder and CEO of True You Teams. And here we go. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Your Leadership Legacy. My name is Tina Paulus Kraus, and I'm super excited today because I have one of my dearest friends on, Amy Pierquet. Amy is powerful. Amy is a web designer, graphic designer, as you can see, Waterfront Graphic Design, and she's been a major part of my path as I've built my business. We've kind of grown up in business together. So I want to welcome you, Amy, to the show today.
Well, I am so absolutely honored to be here and honored to be your friend.
Yes, exactly. So here's the thing, like, I know all about your journey. I know, yeah, you do the website design, but you have this other superpower that you've kind of grown into. And so I'd love for you to just kind of talk about your journey, right? Like, where did you start and what was going on? And I know you have some amazing shifts that have happened over the last couple of months. And so I want you to talk about those too, for sure.
Okay. Well, I did start my business about 23 years ago, almost 23 years ago. That I look back 23 years ago and I don't recognize that person at all. I have changed, grown, and evolved so much. But to be honest, it's really only happened in the last 5 years.
I've seen that and I've witnessed that. I feel honored that, like, we've kind of done that together, right? We've like grown up in that together. So it's awesome.
Yeah, it's almost like we kind of went through dark night of the soul together and helped each other through it. And
then we threw COVID in there. Don't forget about throwing COVID in there.
Yeah, right. So I knew I didn't know everything about business, and I just didn't know where to get the information or how to grow or how do I become this business owner that I want to be. So I kept going to all of these coaches and all these different trainings, and yeah, I might have picked up something here or there, or oh, here's this piece of information and that piece of information, but it never helped. It never helped. And I kept struggling for like 15 years. I just struggled. I kept getting clients, but they were typically clients that maybe weren't the right fit. Maybe they didn't treat you the best. Maybe they didn't pay on time or pay at all. And they were just disrespectful or whatever. Not all of them, but there was a huge percentage of them that kept coming in that way. And finally, I kept looking outside myself. Okay. Yeah. Looking outside myself and going, well, the answer is out there. Right. I got tired of pointing the finger and looking elsewhere. And all of a sudden one day I went, well, the common denominator is me. Right. And yeah, totally.
And like, shit.
Dang it, it's me. And of course, that was like a really, really hard pill to swallow, to realize that, wait, if I'm the common denominator, that means I attracted all of that to myself. So what does that say about me? Again, hard pill to swallow.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. I hear you. I feel that.
Once you start looking at that and you start diving into that and healing that, because typically that is like a limiting belief or something that you're holding on to. I'm not good enough. I can't, I won't, whatever. All these little thoughts that are ringing around in your head are what's holding you back.
Yeah.
Or some kind of trauma. I know trauma's thrown around a lot lately, but we all have trauma, and trauma can be something like a limiting belief. Someone told you when you were, let's throw this out here. Someone told you when you were 6 years old that you were ugly.
Right.
One time someone told you that.
That's not, and it comes all the way into adult life.
It's not a trauma, but it's trauma to you because you believe it. And your 6-year-old self took it as real. And so you have to work through that and erase that out of that subconscious mind that you are not good enough, or you're ugly, or you're whatever other thing that you're holding on
Yeah.
to. And so to get rid of that is working the same way that you would to get rid of trauma. And I think that's why a lot of people call them traumas.
Sure.
My limiting belief of I'm not good enough, or I can't do this, I had to go back into childhood and realize where that came from. And
Sure.
the I can't do this, I can't design websites was really what was holding me back.
Isn't
I
that
do
crazy? The
this.
very
I'm
thing
not
that,
good
so
enough.
yeah,
Yeah.
the very thing that you were doing is what exactly what was holding you back. It's crazy. And so how did you go through that process? How did you realize that and became aware of it?
Well, when I started pointing the finger at myself and realizing that it was me,
Mhm.
I had someone point out to me that maybe you need to go talk to my friend who was a Reiki healer. And I was
Mm,
like, I'm at the point where I'm going to try anything,
yeah.
right? Because
Yeah.
I'm done with this. But I've always been an empathic person. And
Mhm.
so kind of a little bit more spiritual. And so I was kind of like, well, energy, we're all made of energy. This kind of makes sense,
Right.
right? So what's going on with me? Well, the first time I had the Reiki session, the next day, I felt horrible. Felt like I was hit by a semi truck. It's the only way I can describe it. I was
Yeah.
physically fine, but I was in a lot of pain. And I was like, what is going
What
on?
is
And
happening right now?
that was the start of what people call dark night of the soul or anything like that. And then it went
Yeah.
on for 4 months. And that 4 months was the most trying time of my life. But also, I look back on it in one of the best times of my life
Yeah. Yeah.
because
Did you have support through that, Amy? Or were you doing that
I
on your own?
did. Yeah, I worked with that Reiki healer for a while. And then my intuition said she was no longer helping me.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, what do I do next? And then, of course, the universe was like, here's this person for you. And all of a sudden, this lady, her name was Nicole, came into my life, and we had a call. We were introduced by a mutual person. And so we were just going to connect because she's like, hey, you guys both live in Wisconsin. That's great. You should get to know each other. Well, she lives on one side of the state and I live on kind
Right.
of in the middle, but it's like hour and a half away, but we're still connected because we're like, hey, we're close. I immediately connected with her. She connected with me and she's like, I can help you. And I'm like, let's do it. And for 6 months, I worked with her and we worked through all of those limiting beliefs. And they were really, really challenging. I cried and I was very vulnerable and everything. And by the last month, I barely even needed her the last month because I was like, well, okay, great. And then guess what? We're like the best of friends now too, and we've
Right.
helped each other through so many things. So
Yeah.
yes, getting coaching, getting the help that I needed because you need someone to challenge you. If you're
Yeah.
trying to create,
Otherwise, you're in your comfort zone. No,
right,
you're not getting out of your comfort zone until somebody disrupts it.
right, and they challenge you hard. If your coach isn't challenging you, then they're not doing their job. And she
Right.
definitely put me outside of my comfort zone. And some of the questions she asked me, I was like, I don't know, I don't want to go there. And she's like, nope, we're going
We
there.
get to go there. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And then she starts really, really digging into those beliefs and question and
Mhm.
making me think about them. And the more that I thought about them, they were bringing up things that I was trying to hide.
Yeah. 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 That you got to confront then, right? Like
Yeah. Yeah.
confront it and figure it out and be able to let it go. One of the things that I love about your journey, and you can talk about this because there's a saying out there, hurt people,
Mhm.
transformed people, transform people. And and I know kind of what you got cooking up your sleeve that's coming next. And so talk to us a little bit about, transformation is never ending, right? We talked about this before before we hit the record button. Like it's not like we went through this transformation and now we're arrived. No, it's an ongoing thing. I will never go without a coach, right? Like I will always have a coach in my life. I will always have that intention because there's always a next level and there's always growth. But like how are you taking your transformation today and transforming other people through it?
Well, that's kind of a hard question. It's not like I'm putting myself out there and saying, I'm a coach, I'm a coach, I'm a coach, let me help you.
Right.
Um, but when my clients come on board, I can sense a limiting belief. Um, I can tell a story of a lady, and absolutely amazing, wonderful lady that came into my life. Great. The universe brings people that are in alignment or in need. She is from New York City. Funniest lady, beautiful, talented in so many different ways. And she was referred to me to help with website because she had gone through 5 website people that just would not help her. Like they
Yikes.
couldn't.
Okay. Yeah.
And I sensed in her that she had this limiting belief. So I started digging in a little bit more, kind of like my coach has done to me or coaches have done for me. And
Exactly.
she's like, oh, well, I think that's going to be too much. If I put that in the video, that's going to be too much. And I am going to not attract people or, it's going to push people away. And I said, well, what kind of people do you want? Right? The more authentic you are, the more that the right people are going to come to you.
So true.
You are a loud, crazy, funny, and obnoxious is not the right word. She's not obnoxious. Maybe
Yeah.
some people would find her that, right? And I
Sure.
said,
She's
someone
authentic though.
obnoxious or too much, they are not your client. And she goes, you're right. So like those are the kinds of things that I challenge my clients with. Like if they say, oh, I can't, or I won't, or whatever, I start to challenge them, especially if I feel like it's holding them back. So I'm still obviously doing website work and graphic design work and everything. But if I see a limiting belief, I will challenge my client on that any day of the week.
Yeah, which is incredible because if we think about it, how we do one thing is how we do everything, right? And we've heard that in the transformation world. And if I've gone through 5 people to get what I want and I'm still not finding what I want, like again, it's that common denominator. Like what's the common denominator? And so, it stops with you and you're able to help them from a mindset perspective because what's not working in their website is probably some of the same things that's working in their life or in their business or in other areas of their life. So I think that's really, really incredible that like you add that service on, right? I think it makes a big
It
difference.
came naturally. It wasn't something that I was setting out to do.
Yeah.
But now that I've done, started the healing journey, right? Because like you said, it's lifelong. I now automatically do it in my
Yeah.
business and help my
Yeah.
clients.
Yeah, absolutely. So what's next for you then?
Well, my next part of healing journey, it fell into my lap in divine timing.
Yeah.
In January, I'm going to be doing a theta healing course,
Okay.
which is working with more that energy is kind of in the brain and healing. And it's not so much thought as it is energy flow
Love it.
within the brain. Yeah.
Everything is energy, right? Like everything.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is energy. So you're going to take this certification and all the good stuff, which is amazing. I can't wait to hear more about that. When you mentioned that to me, I was like, I don't know what this is. What is this?
Now she's like, I'm going to be Googling that later.
So I'm like, sign up for Amy's thing in January, kind of a thing, right?
We offer something. Yeah.
Yeah. The beautiful thing is that there are so many different modalities, whatever you want to call it, of healing out there. And I think the biggest thing is when people get burnt out, because burnout is a big thing right now, right? 77% of us are burnt out. And when we're burnt out, it only adds to that limiting belief mindset, right? It's just like, I can't give anymore. I can't, we start saying those things to ourselves. So, I mean, I love where you're going with this and I'm really excited about it. But like, when you think about a business owner that comes to you and is in this space and now you can offer them this new form of healing in addition to everything else, what does that do for the customer? What does that do for your clients?
A lot of my clients come to me stressed. A
Yeah.
lot of them do. And a lot of them come to me, I've already tried 5 people. And they're like, they're already on the edge, right?
I was one of those. Like,
yes, actually, you
I'm one of
were.
those.
Yeah, you were kind of like, I'm so done. Yeah. You know, they come to me where I've tried 5 people. I can't get them to do, or they say it can't be done. And I'm like, wait, it can be done.
Anything
Right?
can be done.
Anything can be done. It's just you got to find a workaround or you got to, whatever. I had a lady that had a button on her homepage that didn't work. It was linking to some other website, and it was like a contact us button.
Yeah.
And so I was on a Zoom call with her, and I was just like, okay, okay, would you mind that we log in? I do a screen share and we log in right now and I take a look at it. Right then and there, within a couple minutes of me logging onto her website, she watched me do it. I fixed her button and she goes, I was told that couldn't be fixed. And it was just like, it's like little things like that, like customer service, right? And I gained a lifelong client because I did that one little tiny thing on that Zoom call.
Yeah.
But just taking that extra step and making them feel comfortable and calming them down from the stress level that they're at when they come to me. Because they're at their wit's end. Like I'm about ready to just forget this website thing, and I'm like, nope, you don't need to do that. Let's calm down.
Right. I mean, I think the big lesson for me, and you were part of this, it's like learning how to call in support. I think that when we're always looking outside for all the answers, it's like, there's got to be a different answer. There's got to be a different answer. And when we go, no, what do I really need right now? I need support. Like I need support is what I need. So how do I get support? And it's just really, really comforting to be able to go to you. And in addition to being really great at web design, right? Like there's this mindset and you're able to like just calm people down and go, no, I got you. I got you. So I want to honor you for that, because I think that's a really amazing thing that you do that I don't see a lot of other people doing. So I honor you for that. If I were to say, so this is your leadership legacy, right? So if I were to say, hey, Amy, what legacy are you leaving? Like, what's the intention?
I guess just to make, for me, a lot of my earlier life was pretty chaotic and stressful. And I always tell people that I think I'm just here to make their life easier, right? Drop the stress. So the legacy is doing little tiny things for people can make a huge difference. So and it makes a huge impact on other people, because fixing that one little button for that client, not a big deal, but the amount of stress that dropped off of her was substantial, right? Because she'd been dealing with it for so long.
Yeah. And again, it's another limiting belief. And it's one that I had, like, I'm the one with the leader title. I'm the owner of this business. I'm supposed to have all the answers. I'm supposed to know how to do everything. Like it's our programming. We, like, why would I reach out for help? I'm supposed to know that. And then we're worried about it, what people think, and like all the stupid stuff. So that's why I love that you're adding this coaching element to the services that you provide, because I think it really matters, especially like it's busy out there. It's noisy and it's busy and there's a lot of distractions. And, if in fact 77% of us are burnt out, like being able to hold that space and take care of people is really important. So it's amazing. I love what you do. Where can people find you?
Well, you can just go to my website, waterfrontgraphic.com.
Love it. Love it. And you're all over social media as well. You do an amazing job on LinkedIn with all kinds of value posts and everything else. So, all right. I am so grateful that you were here with us today and that you were on. I've been meaning forever to have you on. So it's good to see you here.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah, you bet. All right, everyone. That's it for this episode. We'll see you next time. Bye.
My name is Tina Paulus-Krauss, and I thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the show. Check out our programs and events at trueyouteams.com. And until next time, make it an amazing day.